Who would have thought that one of the most prestigious jewelry brands in the world would finally choose Jeon, a BTS member known as Worldwide Handsome, as the global face of their latest campaign titled, Catch the Sun? A big question then arises. Why was Jeon chosen, and what does this collaboration mean for the fashion world and the luxury jewelry industry? This announcement surprised many because Fred Jewelry, a French jewelry house established in 1936, is known to be highly selective in determining its global campaign face. The company founded by Fred Samuel rarely features public figures with the scale of popularity as big as Jeon. With this bold move, Fred Jewelry is not merely introducing a new collection but also marking a new era in their brand communication. The Catch the Sun campaign itself carries the philosophy of light, optimism, and limitless life energy. In the official release, Fred Jewelry stated that the sun is the source of life, symbolizing vitality, hope, and the spirit to keep shining under any circumstances. By choosing Jeon, who has just completed his mandatory military service and returned to the global spotlight, the symbolism becomes even stronger. Jeon is not just the face of the campaign, he is positioned as the true embodiment of inspiring light. The first publication of this campaign features Jeon and Fred Jewelry's signature pieces that are minimalist yet elegant. The official photos show the harmony between Jeon's calm charisma and the modern design of the Catch the Sun collection. The result is a visual narrative that not only captivates BTS fans but also draws the attention of fashion lovers and jewelry collectors. The next question is, what is the impact of this collaboration on the global jewelry industry? Fashion analysts see Fred Jewelry's move as a smart strategy to penetrate the Asian market, particularly South Korea and Japan, which are known to have the largest K-pop fan bases. Jeon's presence as a global ambassador is believed to expand Fred Jewelry's reach to younger generations who previously might not have been very familiar with the brand. Furthermore, this collaboration also shows the transformation of the luxury jewelry industry's image. If in the past classic fashion houses mostly collaborated with Hollywood celebrities or European supermodels, now the direction of communication strategy has shifted. Jeon's presence reflects a changing trend. Asia is no longer just a consumer market, but also a center of global cultural influence. For Fred Jewelry, bringing Jeon on board is not merely a commercial decision but also an acknowledgement of K-pop's power in driving worldwide trends. Public reaction was no joke. Hashtags related to this campaign quickly topped social media just hours after the official announcement. ARMY, the name for BTS fans, responded to this collaboration with extraordinary enthusiasm. They flooded timelines with congratulatory messages, praise for the campaign visuals, and pride that their idol was chosen as the face of a legendary jewelry house. This phenomenon shows how one strategic collaboration can create an organic promotional wave on a global scale. However, behind all the euphoria, there is also an academic aspect worth examining. From a branding perspective, Jeon's involvement in the Catch the Sun campaign can be analyzed as a high-level practice of celebrity endorsement. According to marketing theory, campaign effectiveness is greatly influenced by the matchup hypothesis, namely the alignment between a celebrity's image and the brand's identity. Jeon, with his clean image, elegant charisma, and positive global reputation, becomes the perfect match for Fred Jewelry, which has long upheld the values of elegance, warmth, and the light of life. In addition, the timing of this campaign's launch cannot be considered a coincidence. Jeon has just returned from his military service, a phase that adds personal depth to the campaign narrative. Jeon's return to the international stage is seen as a symbol of rebirth and new light, in line with the Catch the Sun philosophy. Thus, this campaign does not only sell jewelry but also offers an emotional story relevant to the life journey of the star himself. More than just a visual campaign, Fred Jewelry is also reportedly preparing a series of global activities involving Jeon. From digital launches, television commercials, to exclusive exhibitions in major cities worldwide. This 360-degree marketing strategy proves that the collaboration with Jeon is not a short-term project, but rather a long-term plan to expand Fred Jewelry's positioning in the international market. Now many are waiting for the next step. Will this collaboration give birth to a special collection bearing Jin's name? Or even make the star an inspiration for design? That question has not yet been answered by Fred Jewelry. But one thing is clear, this collaboration has already marked a new history, not only for the jewelry industry but also for Jin's career journey as a global cultural icon. With all the surprises, strategies, and symbolism contained within, the Catch the Sun campaign with Genie has become more than just a product promotion. It has transformed into a cultural event that shows how the light of a star can blend with the brilliance of jewelry to create an undeniable global resonance. The announcement of Jin's collaboration with Fred Jewelry through the Catch the Sun campaign does sound shocking. But let us pause for a moment and ask, did this event really happen as reported? Or is it merely an illusion created to attract public attention? Why did this news go viral so quickly, even before there was direct confirmation from the official party? And more importantly, are we part of a global communication experiment deliberately designed? It is undeniable that the power of Jin's name and BTS is a phenomenon capable of shaking any industry they touch. But is it really possible for a jewelry house like Fred Jewelry to take the bold step of placing their entire global narrative on the figure of a K-pop artist? Or are there actually parties trying to exploit Jin's big name for hidden promotional purposes? This question deserves reflection because every piece of information we consume in the digital era does not always originate from the space of truth. Let us consider the following fact. Most of the information about this campaign comes from video snippets on TikTok, posts on Twitter, clips on YouTube, and images widely circulating on various social media. Are all of these truly sourced from Fred Jewelry's official release? Or could some of them simply be visual fabrications, digital manipulations, or even fan speculations that were eventually elevated as truth by online media? Isn't social media often a machine that creates pseudo-realities that are difficult to distinguish between fact and fantasy? Even if we accept this information as true, are we sure this collaboration is not just a temporary marketing move deliberately made to grab attention in the Asian market? Don't major companies often use surprise strategies to create viral effects, even though in the end not all of those campaigns are actually realized as announced? If that is indeed the case, are we as consumers and fans willing to become part of this sensationalism experiment? In this context, it is important to ask, who benefits from this big narrative? Is it Genie as an artist, Fred Jewelry as a brand, or rather social media that manages to create a global conversation flow? And what about us as the audience? Are we enjoying a truth, or are we unknowingly reinforcing a hoax deliberately produced for clicks, views, and digital interactions? Let us look deeper. If Genie truly is the global campaign face of Fred Jewelry, there would certainly be official confirmation through the company's website, press conferences, or credible major media. However, if until now the majority of information only comes from unofficial posts, isn't that enough reason for us to be skeptical? Do we want to be passive consumers who swallow raw information without verification? Furthermore, we need to ask, is our desire to believe this news born because there is real evidence, or because as fans we are already accustomed to placing high expectations on every move of our idol? Isn't fandom often a space where the boundaries between fact and hope become blurred? And shouldn't we be careful so that our love for an idol does not make us easily manipulated by those who want to take advantage? We could also raise a more provocative question. What if this campaign is actually a media fabrication to test the power of K-pop's influence in the global industry? What if this information was deliberately spread without any official basis, only to measure how far the public is willing to believe shocking news without strong evidence? And if that is indeed the case, doesn't it signify that we are living in an era where truth can be produced, fabricated, and even sold like a commodity? This reflection is important because in the digital information landscape, truth is often not about facts, but about who spreads the narrative fastest. So the question is the news about Genie and Fred Jewelry a reflection of reality, or merely a mirror of collective desire that is then recognized as fact? If truth can be so easily negotiated, what remains of journalistic integrity? Therefore, let us pose the final question. Should we immediately believe that Jeon is truly the star of Fred Jewelry's global Catch the Sun campaign? Or should we wait for concrete evidence before claiming this as a fact? The choice is ours: to be critical consumers of information or to become victims of the never-ending flow of sensationalism. We present this information based on what is circulating across various media channels: TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and certain online portals. However, until the real truth is verified through official sources, all of this remains in a gray area. So the ultimate question for you: is this news fact or merely fantasy wrapped in the brilliance of jewelry and the charisma of a star?